Good evening. Today, I'm going to discuss about understanding the basics and innovation under petrochemical technology. Firstly, we should know about what is petrochemical technology. Petrochemical technology involves the use of petroleum and natural gas as raw material to produce chemicals, plastics, synthetic fibers, fertilizers, and many more. Now, I want to draw your concentration on this word petroleum. What is petroleum? We just break the word petro and oleum. Petro means rock and oleum means oil. So from the rock, the oil is derived, known as a petroleum. And from this petroleum, after the refining process, we are getting different component. Among that, there are naphtha, which is a major feedstock for petrochemical industry. Now, what is the importance? The petrochemicals are essential in various industries, from manufacturing everyday products to innovations in advanced technology. Before we go to discuss about their processes, we must know about the major petrochemical products. I have cited here a few pictures. This bottle caps, different tubes. These are made from plastic, and the basic ingredient are polyethylene, polypropylene, PVC, etc. Under polyethylene, we are very much familiar with the term HDPE, high density polyethylene, LDPE, low density polyethylene, etc. Now go for the synthetic rubber. Just look here, the variation of uses. The rubber is used in simple girder, then used in tires, in footwear also. Then comes the fertilizer, which contain ammonia and urea, and this is a petrochemical product. Think about the detergent, what we are using in our daily lives, and this is also a petrochemical product. Now, I'm just concentrating on this particular term, that is a solvent and paints. Think about your sweet home, your dream car, or any instrument, any like equipment in your lab or in your industry. They are using solvent and paints. And these all are petrochemical products. Think about the fiber, our daily clothes, and lots of things. They are actually prepared from this nylon, polyester, etc. This is also a petrochemical products. Now think about the raw material of in petrochemical industry. The primary raw material is the crude oil. From where do we get the crude oil? We are getting the crude oil under the ground or under the water. Actually, in underground or under the water, they are creating a reservoir. In ideal case, they are having a saline water layer in the bottom. Above that, there is a crude oil layer, and above that, there is a natural gas layer. What you can say, natural gas cap. And to collect this crude oil, we have to dig some well. So, depending upon the orientation of this reservoir of the different layers, we name here crude oil wells, gas wells, or condensate wells. Generally, the crude oil stay above the saline water and below the natural gas. But sometime, depending upon the density, the natural gas may stay below the crude oil. So this natural gas also an essential feedstock for producing the petrochemicals. Then the natural gas liquids, NGLs, this is again a very familiar term, and these are extracted from gas processing units. And these also have lots of applications in preparation of different petrochemical products. Finally, we should say about the coal and biomass. That is an alternate feedstock used for some processes. Now, we have to think about the impurity of petrochemical feedstock. Now, from where does impurity come actually? During the orientation of these different crude oils and natural gas, each and every petrochemical feedstock, depending upon their orientation, their creation, their place, it may contain different impurities like water vapor, mechanical impurity, chemical impurity. We can have to remove all this impurity because to continue our process further, we cannot go with all these impurities. So we have to eliminate the water vapor by using different absorbent, maybe solid, maybe liquid. Under solid, there is a very familiar example like silica gel, bauxite, etc. And from under the liquid, there are ethylene glycol. The very famous name here is the lithium chloride, which is the best absorbent for this purpose, but its high cost curtail its use. Then you think about the mechanical impurity. We can eliminate the mechanical impurity by simply washing with water. It's a very easy one. It's a very low cost. But sometimes some process required application of solvent. So we have to apply suitable solvent for some tar and for some heavy hydrocarbon oils to remove the mechanical impurity. In another case, depending upon the particle size, if it is sufficient enough to settle in a normal preferable time, we can go for normal settling. And it is again a very economical process. Then we think about the chemical impurity. So as I said earlier that depending upon the orientation and its creation of the crude oil, it may contain different other components. And we are very much familiar with that depending upon the places, sometimes we are getting brown color crude oil, sometimes red color, sometimes green color, sometimes black color. And so within this crude oil, it may contain different chemical impurities like sulfur, sulfur dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, and many more. And we cannot continue the process with all these impurities. So we have to eliminate that. For the elimination, we are going through lots of processes like Git bottle process, Bevan sulfur recovery process, Merox process, Modoc process. And in all these processes, actually, we are applying different types of solvents. The very famous solvent name come to my mind right now is the ethanolamine. Now, let's go for an overview of the petrochemical process. The steps, what are you going to follow? So firstly, we are collecting the crude and then you go for the refining process. So the crude oil is refined into various products using distillation, cracking and reforming, etc. Under the reforming, it has two different types, steam reforming, catalytic reforming. Under the cracking, it has steam cracking, catalytic cracking. In steam cracking, by using steam, we are break down the large hydrocarbons into smaller molecules. And in the catalytic cracking, we are uses the catalyst here to crack the heavier hydrocarbons. Then we go for the application, like the product we are using. That particular thing comes by this polymerization techniques. In this process, the linking of small molecules like monomers into long chain polymers are made here. Now, what are the common petrochemical processes? If you highlight here, steam cracking, which produces ethylene, propylene, butadiene, and other valuable products. Then you go for the catalytic cracking. It converts heavy oils into gasoline and light chemicals like olefins. If you go for the hydrogenation, it converts unsaturated compounds like vegetable oils into saturated products, hydrocarbons. Now think about the application based on the industry wise. You know the application, but go for the industry wise to understand the expansion of these uses. First, go for the plastic industry, packaging, consumer goods, medical devices, etc. are comes here, and they are based on what? Polyethylene, polypropylene, all these components. Think about the automotive industry, the tires, the fuel additives. In this case, we cannot think without rubber. And to meet our demand right now, we have to depend on the synthetic rubber. And this synthetic rubber is a product of petrochemical industry. Within synthetic rubber, the very familiar name is the SBR, styrene butadiene rubber. So within this thing, the styrene is prepared separately, and then we have to prepare the butadiene, and then you prepare the SBR. So all are the synthetic component which are prepared from petrochemical industry. Then again you go for the agricultural industry, where you require the fertilizer, the pesticides, and we have to depend upon the urea, ammonia for that. Then come to the textile industry, and the terms comes in our mind is the fiber. We all are familiar with the acrylic fiber. Generally, we can divide the fiber in three different terms, like natural fiber, man-made fiber, and synthetic fiber. So if we solely depend upon the natural fiber in today's scenario, it's very much like not possible actually. So we have to depend on the synthetic fiber. Among the synthetic fiber, the very familiar name is the nylon polyester. So with all these applications and all this profit, everything, we have to think about the sustainability and environmental considerations. Why sustainability? Because we all know that the natural resources is decaying in exponential manner. So you have to think about these three terms: reuse, reduce, and recycle. But look in the petrochemical industry, what are the challenges? They has high energy consumption. They also have the greenhouse gas emission. And finally, the environmental pollution from plastic waste. So we have to think about something more. So the development of bioplastic and alternative feedstock is comes. Increased energy efficiency in production processes. What is the recent innovation in petrochemical industry? The first term is the green chemistry, which you cannot forget to cite here. Use of renewable feedstock like bio-based material, which can reduce the dependency on fossil fuels. Because we have to think about the depletion. Next, the catalyst development. We have to prepare more efficient and sustainable catalyst in cracking and polymerization. Finally, we must think about the recycle and circular economy. So the new methods for recycling plastics and other materials to reduce the waste is very much appreciable. What is the global petrochemical industry trend? What is the market growth? The rapid demand in emerging economies. This is actually shifts towards sustainable petrochemical practices. There is a huge growth in Asia Pacific, especially in China and India. And some major petrochemical hubs is remain in USA Middle East. What is the future direction in petrochemical industry? Firstly, we must say about the focus on sustainability. We have to develop more green technologies and reduce the carbon emissions. We cannot have to depend solely on the fossil fuels. Next, the biotechnology in petrochemicals. We must apply biotechnology for producing chemicals from renewable sources. This particular technique actually creating lots of components which are less harmful for the environment. And the circular economy and recycling should increasing focus on recycling plastics and reducing the waste. So we can summarize that the petrochemical industry is a critical part of the global economy. Without that, we cannot think our globe now. So in continuous innovation is essential for sustainability. We have to continue our innovation. Future technologies will play a vital role in addressing environmental challenges. So the petrochemical technology is both essential and evolving to meet global demands and sustainability goals. We are just ending our this session right here. In our next session, we are going to discuss in detail about the reforming process. Thank you.